Hey, what is up mortals? ObsidianZed here, and before we get into today's video, there's something I'd like to say. I'd like to let you all know that we have a merch store. Some of the items in it are only available for a limited amount of time, so if you're interested, go to the description and check it out. Each purchase helps us make more content. Secondly, if you didn't know, only 25% of you are subscribed to us, so please hit that subscribe button and click that bell icon. Now with that out of the way, let's get into the video. Today's deep dive focuses on the tall, dark, and mysterious Ectoplasm, a mathematics teacher for the prestigious UA High School students. Well known for training some of the most successful heroes, it takes quite the skilled hero and teacher to push their prospective students to their maximum potential, which is something Ectoplasm manages to do exceptionally. Given his range of skills and talents, it's no wonder he was chosen to help take the hero classes to their next level. The hero we're talking about, Ectoplasm, stands at a cool 5 foot 11 inches. Besides his usual battle attire trench coat, he seems to have taken some design inspiration from Kingdom Hearts' Vanitas. A slick black helmet with some other material or skin coming up around his neck meets up with a shiny black faceplate bordered by some gold edges. You can see the eyes and mouth of our hidden hero through this black surface, which we know thanks to illustrations of his civilian clothes. He travels among the masses in a crisp sweater vest and some dress slacks, looking nicely business casual. We don't know much of the mysterious character's backstory other than that a villain took his legs from him while he was running a mission. He has since donned 2 sets of prosthetic legs, one's made for combat and the second pair of civilian legs that look normal at first glance. However, despite the tragedy of losing 2 of his limbs, this did not stop the hero, and he continued to work until finally taking a job at the prestigious UA High School to train the next generation of heroes. Here, he takes on the more mundane and sometimes safer role of teaching the students in mathematics. That said, he doesn't just spend his days drilling calculus into these teens' heads, of course. He also helps with the hero class's training, utilizing his quirk and intelligence to push his students' limits and skills. Come to think of it, having a teacher that can clone themselves would make it impressively hard to cheat on a test. On the topic of quirks, Ectoplasm's ability allows him to launch a billowy substance from his mouth, which is likely where he got the idea for his name. This substance solidifies into a clone of himself, complete with his outfit and prosthetics of choice. His quirk, coupled with his experience and intelligence, makes him formidable both on the battlefield and in the classroom. Now, as for what we have been shown of his story in the series so far, we started off at the entrance exam, watching the newest line of prospective students try to prove their worth. Upon watching the myriad of students showing off their abilities and taking down the robots in the test, he seems the most surprised by young hero Midoriya's skills and his efforts in saving people as well as fighting. It seems he, like many others at UA, saw some potential in the prospective hero and decided to keep an eye on him. The next time we see him is during the USJ training arc, where the students are at the large indoor training area working on their quirks. While they practice, the compound falls under attack by the League of Villains. While fighting them off, help arrives in the form of a team of pro heroes dispatched to combat the surprise attack on the students. During his fight, most of Ectoplasm's part involves fighting off a wave of the grunts, cloning himself and using his powerful new legs to knock them back and keep them at bay. Fast forward a bit and we get to the next encounter during the final exams for their first year. During a teachers' conference earlier, they decided to change some aspects of the exam, bringing the students to fight against the teachers themselves. So we find Tsuyu and Tokiyami in the middle of a large building surrounded by Ectoplasm clones with one goal: get out of the building and past the man himself. He fights well, taking advantage of his opponent's weaknesses, keeping Dark Shadow at bay sufficiently, but in the end, he lost most of his clones. Fighting on, he continues to try to stop them, keeping in close pursuit as they retreat up the floors to try to find an escape. Upon finally managing to defeat enough of the clones to get out, they look upon the final step of their arduous task. Ectoplasm himself stood, blocking the exit and challenging them directly. They came at him with all they had, and he kept up a good fight with them, but it seemed he needed to do something more. He brought out his ultimate ability, named Forced Internment Giant Bites, that uses the same skill he uses to make his clones, but with a twist. Instead of multiple clones, he makes a single giant clone that swallows the 2 students whole. Despite Dark Shadow trying to find his way out, it wasn't effective against Ectoplasm. He was only beaten because of some innovative thinking on behalf of the students, sneaking some handcuffs to Dark Shadow so he could restrain him. Having been defeated, he conceded and the 2 of them passed. Before we get back into the dive, I'd like to say that in case you didn't know, we are only one of the many We the Celestials channels. So if you have the sugar tooth for great storytelling, please give our What If channels a visit as well. No matter if it's My Hero Academia What Ifs or Naruto What Ifs, we've got you covered. Did that get your attention? Great, make sure you click the icon in the top right corner or check the description below for the links to the other channels. Now with that out of the way, let's get back into the dive. Next up on the list of appearances is during the Super Move training episodes, where he takes charge in helping the students of Class 1A to develop their personal super moves, overcharged moves unique to their quirks. After showing several of the students ways to improve their quirks, such as telling Mina to try shaping her hands like a nozzle for her acid splash quirk, or informing Ojiro that his martial arts skills need some work to become less predictable. During this time, notable mentions are Bakugo, who has now learned to focus his explosions into small areas, making them much more dangerous and powerful. Also, Izuku, who struggles to figure out his own super move, searches for something he can do on account of his arms still being severely damaged. Giving his counsel, he encourages Izuku to find something he can do for his upcoming test. Finally, we come to his most recent appearance in the anime, which takes place just after the fight between Gentle, La Brava, and Izuku. Hound Dog and Ectoplasm's clones stumble upon a bruised Izuku and a cowed and dejected Gentle criminal, who turns himself in as Izuku heads on his way to the festival. Ectoplasm doubts Izuku's story but does not push it further for the time being. After ensuring that the scene was not anything that could halt the festival, a clone of Ectoplasm goes with Izuku to retrieve his things from the town where he left it. After arriving back and advising Izuku to clean up before the performance, the clone goes back to patrolling. Ectoplasm next shows up in the manga for a brief moment with the other U8 teachers to discuss the promotion of one of the students, Hitoshi Shinso. Ultimately, they decide to bump him up to the hero course. The next time we see him, it's after the events that occurred in Deka City, along with the rest of UA's teachers. They meet to discuss their plans in response to the Hero Public Safety Commission's decision. The Hero Public Safety Commission has declared that all the hero courses in all the schools put their students through field training. Ectoplasm is worried about the new demands, believing that it is because of the massive destruction caused to Deka City. However, it's ultimately decided to bring back the hero work studies. The students need to learn how to deal with the rise in criminal organizations and how it affects their work, and this would be the best way to do it. In the weeks following, Hawks brought the information needed to give the pro-heroes and the Hero Public Safety Commission a plan to take out this new organization. Known as the Paranormal Liberation Front, the heroes will split into multiple groups to take them down, with Ectoplasm in the group heading to Jaku General Hospital. They expected to find Tomura Shigaraki, a chairman allied with All for One, and the facilities tasked with creating the Nomus. Ectoplasm starts evacuating patients and other civilians when Tomura awakens and destroys the entire hospital, leaving the remaining occupants' survival unknown. We do know that several heroes are now dead, but it is currently unknown whether or not Ectoplasm managed to escape in time. The only other thing to mention for Ectoplasm is that he likes karaoke, which would be reasonably easy for him since he could run a whole choir himself. That said, we have arrived at his most recent appearance in both the anime and the manga, and it's been a good range of scenes. He has had a consistent role in the universe of MHA. He will likely continue to be steadfast, supportive, and a formidable obstacle for UA students, keeping them safe and training them to be their best. Thank you all for watching this video to the end. Now there are a few more things I'd like to go over before the video ends. Again, I'd like to let you all know that we have a merch store. Some of the items in it are only available for a limited amount of time, so if you're interested, go into the description and check it out. Each purchase helps us make more content. Secondly, I'd like to thank our $5 and up Patreon supporters for helping to fund these videos. Lastly, on behalf of We the Celestials, I'd like to thank the writer for this video, as well as the audio and video editors for this video. Their details are in the description below. If you're a voice actor, editor, or writer, or if you're interested in becoming one of these, go to the Discord that's in the description of this video and hit up the head of one of those areas. We're always looking for new members to join us. That's it from us for today's video, so thank you all for watching. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button if you're interested, and hit the like button if you liked the video. Until next time, peace out mortals, have an amazing day.